Hi, Deacon Ed McCormick here at St. John the Baptist, and this is part 5 of our series on the true meaning of Christmas. In the next 2 videos, we are going to focus on Luke's account of Jesus' birth. And remember, I've been telling you, these stories are not really about Jesus' birth. They're much more about Jesus' identity, what God is doing for us through him, and how we're to respond. So let me give you the overview of Luke's story. It's quite different from Matthew. It starts out in Jerusalem with Zechariah, who's a priest, and he's serving in the Jerusalem temple, and the angel appears to him and tells him, even though he's old and his wife Elizabeth is barren, he will have a child named John. And then the scene shifts north to Nazareth, up in Galilee, where Mary is, and Gabriel appears to her and tells her that she will have a son, and his name will be Jesus. And then Mary leaves Galilee and heads 90 miles south to visit her cousin Elizabeth. After this, Mary sings this beautiful song praising God for all God is doing through her son. And then the scene shifts as Mary goes back north to the birth of John. John is born near Jerusalem. He is called the prophet. And when he's born, Zechariah is able to speak again. And Zechariah gives this beautiful song about Jesus and about John the prophet. Then the scene shifts once again. Mary and Joseph are up in Nazareth, and because of the census that the emperor has called for, they travel south 90 miles to Bethlehem, and Jesus is born there. The angels appear to the shepherds visit Jesus, and then Mary and Joseph 8 days later bring the child Jesus to the temple where they meet Anna and Simeon. And then many years later, they come down for Passover to Jerusalem, and Jesus stays there while his parents go home. So it's a very different story than Matthew's. And today I want to just highlight a couple of things about the first part of it. The first is this. When the angel Gabriel appears to Zechariah and says he's going to have a son, Zechariah and Elizabeth are kind of modeled after Abraham and Sarah. Remember, Abraham and Sarah were older, barren, and yet miraculously they have a child. And Zechariah is told that John will be a prophet. When Gabriel appears to Mary up in Nazareth, he has some interesting things to say. She is not barren, but she will have a son through the Holy Spirit. And Gabriel says, he will be the anointed king of Israel. His kingdom will have no end. He will be the king of all the world. And the Holy Spirit will come upon her. And Jesus will be the Holy One. So here, while John the Baptist is the prophet, Jesus is called the Davidic Messiah, the King of Kings, and the Son of God, the Holy One of God. Now, one more point I want to bring up about this. When Mary goes to visit Elizabeth, the baby John kicks in her womb, and she says the child jumped with joy and was filled with the Holy Spirit. And then this Holy Spirit filled Elizabeth. And she says this very interesting line. She says, "Who am I that the mother of my Lord should visit me?" And I think that Elizabeth is a model for us. It is only because we're filled with the Holy Spirit as a parish community and as individuals that we can recognize and welcome Jesus into our lives this Christmas season. So let us ask for the gift of the Spirit. Let us welcome Jesus. Ask him to come into our lives this year in all kinds of new and exciting ways, especially in those areas of our life that are barren, as Elizabeth was barren, and we want him to come into our lives in new and unexpected ways like he did to Mary. See you in the last video.